What's that gooey stuff? Is that your blood?
Oh, my body is disintegrating.
What do you mean?
It is the effect one has to bear when staying in another dimension for too long.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
It's the orgone collector.
This is the frame for our quantum discriminator. It's almost finished. We just need to attach a few more components. It's still missing an energy source. We also need a coolant. Also, an interface. And last but not least, a particle accelerator. I don't even know where to begin.
Don't worry, you know it in theory. Now, the quantum discriminator emits a coherent Tetrian beam into the portal.
Projecting a metaphasing trajectory matrix.
Precisely. Then the projected tachyon pulses allow us to modulate the frequency in such a fashion that
the portal synchronizes with the exact temporal quantum coordinates. A rift in space-time.
Exactly.
This is sensational.
I thought you'd like it.
A couple of self-sealing stem bolts.
A small collection of hydrinos.
An ectoplasm interference oscillator. An empty jar.
A hyperlogic coupler.
That's the toolbox I've borrowed from Trude. That's a prototype of the Valentine. A gift from a friend. Interphasic coil spanner, quantum flux regulator, ODN recoupler, scissors.
It's an excerpt of the Tonklin diary. Gasoline powder. How are you holding up?
Don't worry about it.
You don't look so good. Sorry I said that.
No, it's cool, really. I get that a lot.
About the quantum discriminator.
Yes?
I totally lost track. What was it I was looking for again?
Take a look at these plans, will you? We need a power source as strong as possible. If this was my dimension, I'd recommend using one of those handy 90,000 volt batteries. I'm afraid that's not an option.
Whew. That's a lot of juice we're needing.
We do need a particle accelerator as well. Has to be small enough to fit in there.
A brown tube, maybe? From a TV set?
Could work.
I just had an idea.
An interface to control the device. Get creative on that. A keyboard, buttons, any kind of interface.
I understand.
And a really potent coolant. It's going to burst if we can't keep the temperature low.
What do you have in mind?
Water won't do. Think of something.
Okay, I'll be back soon. They're having a blast out there. How are you holding up?
Don't worry about it.
So you really are from another dimension, right?
I was fleeing. I just stepped through the portal and crashed here.
Fleeing?
There were bad things happening back home. And as soon as I stumbled out of the portal, those really wicked scientists got hold of me. They sure love their tests. You really don't want to mess with them.
I think I met them too.
I escaped, went undercover, and since then, tried to find a solution to finally get home. Which is where you come into play.
This is so incredible. All my calculations, all my predictions. It's going to take years of studies to understand. I always thought parallel universes and different realities were a predictable possibility. But this, I don't even know where to begin.
Don't worry, you know it in theory.
How did you escape?
Through the door, when they weren't watching.
What were you fleeing from? In your dimension, I mean.
Someone blew up our planet. I would rather not talk about it.
How did you manage to hide all this time?
I made a small fortune playing a card game they fancy here. Doppelkopf.
Second doll trumps the first?
Look at that. Depends. All a matter of perspective. That's not really what it's all about, though.
The old trumps.
I had never given the concept of money much of a thought before. I believed it was a rather crazy idea. But I certainly do know how to play. With that money I went into hiding. Slowly disintegrating, trying to find a way back home.
Really? That's it? End of story? All that jazz? The money? The need to get back home? And you just went into hiding?
Sort of.
How are you holding up?
Don't worry about it.
Weren't you just about to elucidate the concept of interdimensional traveling to me?
See, you humans define yourself as some kind of entity that exists inside this corporeal shell. Kind of a consciousness that is somewhat attached to this bodily mass. Where it stems from and why it's there in the first place is totally abstract to you, right? And these two eyes of yours, they define the center of your cosmos, of your perception. Yet there is so much more. You humans need to understand that there's more to the perception of the universe. It's all there. You are just incapable of seeing it. Distant stars and galaxies, sea beams, the Big Bang, all these things you're missing out on. In order to gain a higher understanding of things, the fabric of the universe, to understand the very meaning of your existence, you need to overcome that self-centered view. You have to see the whole picture. Hans, if I could just open your eyes.
You make it sound as if everything we did was wrong.
Let me put it this way. You have not experienced common people until you have heard it in the original by William Shatner.
Can I ask you something personal?
Yes?
With nines or without?
Look at that. With, of course. That's not really what it's all about, though.
Cool. How are you holding up?
Don't worry about it.
Can I ask you something personal?
Yes?
Are there more of your kind?
Here? No. Scattered across manifold dimensions? Probably. But there are certainly beings from other dimensions right around us. Right now. The cat, if you ask me.
Second doll trumps the first?
Look at that. Of course. That's not really what it's all about, though.
Cool. A brand new episode of Twilight Area. There's a brown tube inside. I could use it for the quantum discriminator. The kid will be traumatized for her entire life if I just disassemble her only friend. I don't think I can do this. She's back in a trance. Hi, Lainey. What's cracking?
They are showing the Great Twilight Area Celebration Marathon today. 12 hours of bliss in a row.
They're having the ever-so-riveting town fair outside. Wouldn't you like to go out to the real world once in a while?
The real world is in there, can't you see?
But there is ice cream and cotton candy waiting outside.
I'll think about it. But for now, I need to keep on watching.
She's back in her parallel universe. Note to self, the buffet in this guest house is an obvious case for the public health department. I don't want to take this with me. If anywhere, it belongs in the trash. A dim oil painting showing a couple of withering roses in a vase. Some of the varnish is starting to come off. How poetic. I wanted to return your fishing rod.
Good! Did you get a bite?
Kind of.
There is a lot going on in this lake. I can tell you, Professor. Just the other day, I caught a red herring this big. So, let me take a look for your pawned item. Ah, there you are. Here's your whistle.
Whistle?
Well, yes, your whistle.
This is not my whistle.
Not your whistle? Of course this is your whistle, your whistle.
I'm sure I'd recognize this whistle. If it were my whistle, I left you something completely different.
Right. What was it then?
My, massage rod.
Your what? I don't have no massage rod in here. As I said, here is your whistle, Mr. Tannhauser.
Thanks.
Please ring bell for service. We only serve small pots of coffee outside the restaurant. This leads to the rooms.
Trude?
So, Professor, did you take a look-see around the area?
You could definitely say so. You may call off the police.
How come?
I've got my notes back.
But the inspector is already on his way.
Then just call him off in person if he's early.
As you wish.
I would like to ask you something.
Oh yes, of course.
Does the name Lazarus Taft ring a bell with you?
Haft. Oh yes, indeed. Doppelkopf player. If you ask me, he's a sham. Ripped my guests off to the last penny. Shady type. You better not get involved with him.
Oh, I think I already... well... Ah, never mind. Would you mind looking for my real deposit?
Come again?
My massage rod.
Your what?
Never mind. I'll be leaving then.
Make yourself at home, Mr. Tannhauser.
The antenna provides TV reception for the guest house.
Mr. Tannhauser? Step right up.
Hello. How do you know my name?
It's a small town. Penelope Hades. My sister and I run the boat rental over at the lake.
How much for a ticket?
One ticket, 50 pfennigs. But I'm afraid all tickets have been sold.
Bummer.
I'm sorry.
So, are there any prizes?
Our first prize is an all-day boat ride on the Truberbrook.
I'll be leaving then. The mere thought of cotton candy makes me shiver. The real thing is just gross. If I keep going, there'll be no more prizes left for the rest of the competition. It's a shooting gallery for kids.
Patience, just a moment, pal.
Baron Otto Teton of Truberbrook Sulz, reunited with his tomcat claws.
I just need a moment to reach operational temperature.
Baron,
Mr. Tannhauser, good to see you.
the pleasure is all mine. How is Claus doing?
He's resting. My loyal Claus.
Are you enjoying the festivities?
Yes, take a look around. All these lights, the beautiful music. This is my Truberbrook, in all its splendor and glory.
Have you ever heard the name Lazarus Taft?
Taft, yes, a real good-for-nothing. It's not that I don't like strangers, especially if they come as tourists to my beautiful Truberbrook, but I was suspicious of this Mr. Taft right from the beginning. If you ask me, you better not mingle with him.
Oh, I think I already... well... I need to be on my way.
Until next time, Mr. Tannhauser.
A cone of roasted almonds. 10 pfennigs. I'll have a cone of roasted almonds, please.
A cone of roasted almonds right away. There you are, sir.
A leaden trophy. Like a trophy made out of lead.
Step right up! Step right up! Wanna put your bronze to the test?
Bronze?
Right, all right. That was, not so bad. Just between the two of us. You could use a little dose of vitamins, don't you think? Always remember, a healthy body equals a healthy mind.
He's wearing a violin neck for a peg leg.
Arr, beautiful here, ain't it?
Very. What's a sailorman doing out here in the sticks?
Well, I don't like water that much. I'm just so happy to be here with both of my feet on dry land.
But aren't those stereotypical sailor's clothes you were wearing?
So?
What happened to your leg?
Well, that happened on my second job at the piano transportation company. I don't really want to go into details, but thanks to the mercy of a rueful instrument manufacturer, I got me this nice new leg. And due to a timely taken disability insurance, I now may enjoy a quite decent invalidity pension. Far away from the stormy sea.
That's a nice story. Or is it a sad story? I can't decide. So you have a fear of water?
Aye. Thalassophobia. It all started when I was a little boy, back home, on a sweet summer's day. I was swimming in the lake when my Uncle Ulf suddenly cannonballed in. I would always remember these two massive cheeks rapidly closing in. To be honest, it's still haunting me today. I nearly drowned back then. Later I realized that was the day I developed this terrible, terrible fear of everything deeper than a puddle.
If I may ask, why did you become a sailorman if you're so scared of water?
I asked this myself many times. Well, my mother insisted that it would be best for me to face my fears. So naturally, I became a sailorman.
This is so confusing.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
I think I'm needed elsewhere.
Take care!
Hansen's ice cream. I used to love it when I was little. That's a ticket for the raffle. This must be my lucky day. A beautiful, healthy tree. Acersoidu platanus, the sycamore maple. I call, they come. Neat.
Beverly, it is widely known that Corvidae are quite sociable and intelligent beings. I recently became acquainted with no less than a swarm of these impressive singing birds. Sometimes, I wish I could be like them. If I could just fly south with them. I wonder if they would accept me as one of their own. Over here, little birdies. Whoops. I must have overfed them. The streetlight is flickering unsteadily. Typical case of light pollution.
Step right up! Every ticket's a winner, no blanks, guaranteed! Our first prize is an all-day boat ride on the Truberbrook.
See? I found a ticket.
Now look at that, you're a lucky fella. Now let's see what fortune has in store for you. Are you ready? This is your prize, a can of cat food, generously provided by the Truberbrook Advertisers Association.
Oh my. Thanks, I guess.
Well, enjoy!
Hey, get lost, you wet blankets!
Patience, just a moment, pal.
Baron?
Mr. Tannhauser, good to see you.
The pleasure is all mine. I saw you at the raffle, right? Did you win anything?
I won a pair of hiking boots. Take a look at me. How am I supposed to wander anywhere? You, on the other hand, Mr. Tannhauser, you look like the type to be struck by wanderlust once in a while. Oh, auf dem gelben Wagen sitz ich beim Schwager vorn. Ja, ja, so war das. What about you? Did you have any luck with your ticket?
I won this.
Excuse me, is that cat food by any chance? I am asking on behalf of Klaus. He loves cat food. Would you mind making a trade?
What do you have in mind?
You leave this delicious can of cat food to Klaus and me, and in return, I give you this new pair of hiking boots, size 13. What do you think?
Sounds like a perfect deal. So let's make it so.
It will be to your benefit.